Oh, Mom, how have you been doing? This is Julia. Do you remember me still?
Huh? Julia? Didn't you cut ties with me as your mother 3 years ago?
Well, I had done that back then, right? But after giving it all some thought, I think I'm willing to let the two of us get back together again.
But you said that we never talked to one another again.
Yeah, I get that I might have said something like that. But I've taken back what I said before and I'm thinking of reconnecting with you. So go ahead and start thanking me.
No, I don't think I will. Why are you even coming back to me right now? You took a lot of my things, and even the wedding ring that your dad gave me before he passed away when you left my house. Did you think that I'd forget about all of that?
Oh, come on now, Mom. You can leave all that happened then in the past. Thinking about those things will do you no good, and they certainly won't help us become family again. And by the way, Mom, if you had gotten remarried, you should have told me that. That's pretty sad of you to keep something so important away from your daughter. Not telling your only daughter a single thing about that.
But we had agreed that we never ever talk to one another again, like you wanted.
And on top of that, I've seen that the man you married is a doctor, right? And to make things even better, he's a very famous doctor that a lot of people travel to be treated, but, right?
Who are you hearing about all of this from?
So, what that means is that you and him have a lot of money now, right? No, you have to, right? He's a famous doctor after all, so there's no way he doesn't have massive amounts of wealth.
What are you wanting to say about him, Julia?
Well, Mom, you had always wanted the two of us to reconnect, right? And I'm sure these past few years have been tough on you since your only child ran away leaving you all alone. So, if you give me $5,000, I'll be willing to let you talk to me again. How does that sound?
Huh?
I'm not asking anything bad, right? I will be asking you to help me with a bunch of other things after that, but for starters, I'm asking that you give me $5,000 in cash.
Wait, what are you saying? Can you explain all of that to me again? Why should I have to pay you $5,000 when you explicitly told me that we would never come around one another again?
I'm asking you to give me $5,000 and then you'll get your very cute daughter back. I knew that you've gotten so old now that it's hard for you to understand things. That's the whole reason you lost me in the first place.
Well, I don't really think I want to reconnect with you, Julia.
Hold on. Are you just trying to act tough now that I'm back? It's alright, Mom. I never meant to do any harm to you back then. I'm telling you, if you pay me that $5,000, I'll come back to you for good. I promise that. But if you take too long to think about this, the price to get me back will steadily keep going up. Starting tomorrow, the price will rise by $10,000 if you don't make the choice right now. So try and be quick here.
After not talking to me for so long, and now asking to get back with me for a price, you think I'll just pay it? Could this mean you're having a really hard time on your own right now?
I'm not talking about my life right now. It has nothing to do with things between you and I getting better. I'm telling you that I'm willing to be kind enough to allow you to start talking to me again. So hurry up and say yes.
What?
And I mean, it's crazy that an ugly old lady like you was able to even find a doctor with all that money to marry him in the first place. Stop trying to avoid me and give me an answer. I'm in a hurry right now.
Do you have a reason for talking to my mom right now?
Huh? Who is this?
So you're that Julia that she's always been talking about. I had a look at what you'd been talking about, and she was right on saying that you're a lost cause of a daughter.
Hey, come on now, who is this?
I bet things have been really rough for Mom in her past having to raise a daughter like you.
Who the hell is this? I'm tired of you being all secretive, so give me your name. Perhaps this is just some random loser?
I am Max, and I'm the son of the doctor that your mom had married. And ever since the both of them have gotten married, I've been living here with her.
Huh, and you think you know her more than me? That's lived with her since I was a baby?
I know that your mom is a very wonderful person. Do you even know why she was able to date my dad?
Why would I care about that stuff?
Your mom had been in very bad shape from how often she was stressed by her situation. And when she came to see my dad to seek help, she had lost around 30 pounds from not eating enough for a whole year.
I told you that I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. Who the hell even are you trying to be? Using my mom's phone to talk to me like you can say anything.
Your mom ended up in the hospital so that she could try and fight her illness. And after getting the right treatment to help her start feeling better again, she fell to my dad's feet, thanking him for all of his work. So what do you think?
Come on now, bud.
Your mom had lost her husband in a car accident a while back, right? Well, she didn't want to trouble anyone with the amount of stress and sadness that had all been put on her. And after you left, she was trapped for so long trying to fight her thoughts and save her health. But after she continued to fight back, she finally did something that most people could never do when they get into a deep depressive state, and that was to come looking for help from a specialist. And now I'm hearing that you keep talking down to my strong mother like she hasn't been through enough already?
Yeah. In other words, my mom was able to find the man of her dreams at the hospital. That's so cool. Congrats to her. Amazing woman. Yup. And is that why you're attached to her now? Because I know she has no use for you.
No, I'm with her now to protect her from the lost cause of a daughter that has so much debt that she had to come crawling back to her mother.
Huh? What? Why do you know?
You had married a man after you left your mom. But then he found out that you were cheating on him and then divorced you. But he also found out that you had been stealing his things and selling them to pawn shops for easy cash. And so when the divorce happened, you were stuck with having to pay a massive amount for the settlement and fines that he had asked for.
What? Why?
And now you have such massive debts that need to be paid, and that's why you're crawling back now. You heard from someone that your mom married a doctor, and that gave you the idea that you could come and get money from her again. And that's why you're back here begging for money. You really are pathetic.
Wait, why do you know about all that stuff regarding me?
Because I've made the choice to protect my mom. She would never make an enemy of anyone because she's got the sweetest heart. And I know that you're a danger to her. And when she told me that you were talking to her again, I immediately started to look deeper into you.
What? Who the hell are you? Tell me what you are.
I'm no one special, Julia. I just want to make sure that my mom is safe and away from dangerous people like you. So I'm not letting you get any further with us. Get lost.
Disgusting. If only my dad were here to see this garbage. Well, listen, bud, let me tell you this. I'm related to that woman by blood and am her actual child. She would love me more than you any day of the week because of that.
You think she would still love you after you cut ties with her and vanished? You are the most useless waste of human being I've ever met.
I'm tired of this, so just hand the phone back to my mom so I can get somewhere with her. If she doesn't help me out soon, I'll make sure some unfortunate things start to happen. She's not going to leave me alone without helping me in some way, so hurry up and give her the dang phone.
Well, before I do that, you pay your mom back for all the things you stole from her.
Huh?
When you had left her house for the last time, you took almost all of your mom's valuable things, right? And the worst part of all of that is he also took her deceased husband's wedding ring from her. You pay her back for all of that stuff now.
Why would I ever pay her back a cent for that stuff? You need to stop talking, bud. What was at that house on the day I left was mine to take, so you don't get to tell me crap.
You poor thing. Until you pay her back for all those things, you're not allowed to talk to her. Do you not see how much you hurt your mom when you took that ring from your late father away from her?
She was with another man now, so it doesn't matter anymore. Why are you so worked up over that?
That's not what all of that means.
Jeez, this is getting so tedious. You're literally the reason why I hate men. I don't even need to be sitting right here listening to all the sewage that spills out of your mouth. All you're doing is being a little baby about things. Guess I'll have to take care of things personally.
Hey, what are you thinking of doing?
Wait, what's going on over here? Who the hell is living in my house?
Julia, what the hell have you gone and done? Your mom sold that house a while back, and right now, someone else is living in there.
Huh? What the? Because of her, the police have been called on me now.
Did you try and sneak into that house?
Well, I thought it was still my family's house. And I couldn't get the front door open because the door was locked, so I broke through the window to get in there. But then an alarm started to go off.
You are such a frickin' idiot.
You're the perfect example of an idiot, so you shut up. I think you need to start realizing all that sooner rather than later.
Are you still laughing about things? What are you planning to tell the police about this?
Oh, I'm not sticking around for them. The moment I heard the sirens coming, I sprinted away from there. But I think there was a camera that saw me. What do you think I should do about this?
I think you should be finished. Stop running from them and let them take you away. That would be best for you now that you've shown all your colors.
Shut up, dude. Why are you still using my mom's phone anyway? Give it back to her.
Hey, Julia? It's your mother.
It's about time that guy gave you back your phone. Mom, are you going to help me or not? I need just a little bit of money. And can you tell the police for me that this is all a misunderstanding? Then you won't even have to hand me the $5,000 and I'll still let you see me.
Julia, I'm going to be very brief about this. I no longer think of you as my daughter.
Huh?
I'm sorry, but I'd like you to stop texting me anymore. You've been gone for 3 years, and I think right now that it was a blessing that you had left me.
Hold on there, Mom. When I cut ties with you, you hated all that, right? Come on, I'm your real daughter, right? That stupid mama's boys of yours over there is nothing more than a waste of time. Are you really going to keep him around?
Do not say anything bad about my Max.
However you try and talk about him, he's an idiot. Who the hell is he anyways? Why does he know so much about me and care so much about you? All he is your new husband's son, right?
No. Max was the man that came and saved me from the car crash that killed your father years ago.
Huh? Hold up. Don't tell me that he was the one that pulled you from the car when that happened and took you to the hospital.
He must have told you a little bit about what happened, right? He was that guy. That's how a lot of things started. He had taken me to the hospital to be treated, but when I heard about your father's death, and then you left me later, I was on a dark path. And so one day, when I was in the darkest places of my mind, I ran back to that hospital, and his dad who became the man that helped me, and would later marry me. And ever since then, Max has always been there for me, because he knew how hard I struggle.
Is that how it all worked out? Well, I never knew any of that. But no matter what he did for you back then, why would you choose to have an idiot like him as your son?
And you think I'd want you to be my daughter when all you do is cause problems and ask for money? I'm sorry, but you have to stop. Do something with your own strength for once in your life.
Hey, what is going on here? Mom, you have never been this kind of person.
And I told you that you had left me for 3 years and I changed a lot.
All right. You don't have to take me back, but you better help me one last time. And then you and I can be done with one another forever. Right now, if I don't get helped, I'll be in huge trouble. Mom, your actual child is panicking right now. Are you not worried about me?
No, Julia. And Julia, the thing you should be doing right now as an adult is not texting me about your problems. You should be explaining what you did to the police, and then you should be paying back every penny you owe to the people whose house you broke into. That's all you have to do. I'm not going to reply to you anymore. Goodbye forever, Julia.
Wait! Hey, hold on, Mom. Reply to me right now. I need your help.
Hey, Mom. I'm sorry for doing all of that without your permission. After all you had told me about your daughter, and the news that she was coming back to you, I started looking into what she's been up to.
Don't worry about it, Max, and thank you. But can you tell me how you knew all of that stuff about what she was doing in her past?
Well, apparently she had been going around asking a lot of people about you. And after a little while, the news of her doing that reached my ears as well.
Is that so? I'm sorry for her causing you so much worry.
Why are you saying that? This has nothing to do with you, Mom.
No, the reason for that girl ending up the way she is all because of me. The day that her father had died in that accident and I was brought to the hospital for a while. She was in pain herself, and I had originally planned on going back home to raise her more and care for all her needs. But I think that me being saddened so much myself made her feel even more lonely and like she couldn't look at me the same anymore. And I was hoping that by having my husband's ring, I'd have the strength to carry on with her.
But you can't just blame all that's happened on yourself.
No, I was her mother and I have to be responsible for her actions. I really should have stayed strong and taken better care of her while we both had been in mourning. But I was so far gone in my own sadness that I could never think about her enough to care. And now that's caused her to act out and you were dragged into this mess.
It's all right now, Mom. I choose to do what I did because I wanted to protect you. Mom, what are you going to do about Julia now after everything that's happened?
I'd love to be kind and care for her again, but I think she needs a special kind of help from someone who is more strict and guiding to help her get back on the right path. And I've already decided to not talk to her anymore. I'm sure that she's going to be in a lot of pain for a while now. And it's tough for me knowing that she's in trouble and I'm not there to help her. After all, it's my fault that she's as troubled as she is now.
I see. I understand. Well then, how about we do this, Mom? How about you and I work on making sure that everything goes back to normal from here? You have a new life now, and the past shouldn't be able to haunt you like it has anymore.
After that, Julia ended up giving up and was taken into custody by the police that had chased her. At first, she had tried to ask one person down the street to pretend to be her dad and cover for her, but due to the fact that she was covered in cuts from the broken window, and she was such a maniac, the person slammed the door on her, forcing her to give up. Not only did she break and enter through the window to the person's house, but also damaged some furniture that she had climbed on before turning around and running. And so she ended up having to pay a giant settlement to the owner of that house, and was given a restraining order to never come within 500 feet of that property ever again. She was also charged for running from the police, but that was dropped in court when the judge learned that she was already in pretty deep and had nothing else to offer. And with that, the debt she had already had only grew worse. And so since she knew there was no way of getting out of the hell she had created on her own, she tried again and again to get a response from me. But I knew that if I gave in to her demands, she never stopped, and so I had to ignore everything she asked for. And after a while of that, Julia gave up on trying to get me to help her and left the city. And at this moment in time, I have no idea where she's at, or what she's doing, but I need to start teaching myself to not care about that stuff anymore, like I had been doing before. I am still worried about her, but I know that the only thing I can do is wish that she'll find a way to help herself get better and out of that hell. As for how my life's going, I'm still living with my husband and my son Max, and we're all having a lovely life. I had always known that Max would be there to help me, but after seeing how far he went to protect me from the horrors of my past, I am so happy to have him as a son.
Hey, Carmen, are you there? Oh my gosh, how long has it been since you and I last talked? It has to have at least been a whole year now, right? Isn't that so crazy? I guess that must have been when I stole your super smart, super rich boyfriend John from you, huh? Man, to think that you were so close to living an easy life and not having to worry about money or working or anything like that ever again. But you must have been pretty shocked when you realized that you were betrayed by him for me, huh? I mean, what was the bigger shock, having your husband leave you for another woman, or that the woman was your own sister? That must have been like a double whammy for you. Don't worry, I know all about how you probably feel about it, but just because I understand doesn't mean I'm going to be giving back John to you anytime soon. Are you seriously texting me at 3 a.m. just to send me this crap? Can you at least wait until the normal hours of the day before you start trying to brag about how amazing your life is to me, Lisa? Well, you were already up anyways, right? I actually just happened to get up to use the bathroom, if you must know. But if you're still trying to lord something over me from a year ago, I've moved on and don't care about you or John anymore. What is that supposed to mean, huh? It means that I'm going to bed, because it's 3 a.m, Lisa. Hold on a second, we weren't through here. I still have more that I want to say to you. Well, I'm already putting my phone down, so... I really can't believe that you're such a sore loser that you would rather pretend to go to sleep than listen to what I have to say. You must be so scared of having to face the truth. That's why you act like this, huh? You really think I bought that my messages didn't get you wide awake, or that you're already over losing John? I know that your heart is still just so full of love for him. You probably spent the rest of the night just crying into your pillow, didn't you? All because you can't handle the fact that you were beaten by your little sister who is living a much better life than you now. You think you can fool me with some half-hearted message about being over the past? There's no way that I'd ever buy that. But now that I have you at a decent time of day, I just wanted to let you know that you are never going to get John back from me. You're going to be single and poor for the rest of your life, and there's nothing that you can do about it, ever. Got it? Hey, why aren't you responding to me at all? I see that you've already opened up these messages. Well, as long as I have you here, I also just wanted to let you know that I saw you going into your tiny shack of an apartment building. To think that you used to be a housewife to someone who was rich and successful, and now you live in a messed up little place like that. I've always wondered what it's like to have to live in a place like that. Care to share any of your thoughts with me on the matter? Right, well, I guess whether or not my apartment is really all that bad is more in the eye of the beholder, if you ask me. I mean, I pay over $3,000 in rent a month, so I think it's pretty nice, but I guess others might not see it that way. Hold on a second. You pay over $3,000 a month for that place? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke? Or did you just tell me the wrong number? You're telling me that it's a 3 followed by 3 zeros, and you pay even more than that? I know that you live in one of the worst parts of town, and you expect me to believe that not only do you pay that much in rent, but you think that it's not a bad place? It has nothing to do with the eye of the beholder or anything. You just have a terrible apartment and are lying to me about it. So you mean that it's really been a whole year since you and John ran off together and you still haven't figured it out? Figured what out? What are you talking about, huh? Just what kind of game are you trying to play here? You mean you really have no idea at all about what's been happening to John's dad's company? Quit talking in circles and just tell me what you're going on about. I am not going to play some little guessing game with you. Got it? I'll try and make this quick for you then. When you and John got together last year, I really was shocked and didn't know how to react at all. But that's when I noticed the mistake that you made. The only mistake that I could exploit to my advantage. Do you have any idea what I could be talking about at all, Lisa? No, I don't, because you sound like a crazy person rambling about nothing. I know that you're just mad and jealous of the fact that I'm living the good life with John, and no creepy or threatening thing you say is going to scare me or change that fact. Well, okay then. I suppose I won't bother finishing my thought then, but just don't say that I didn't warn you. You didn't warn me about anything at all. You're just acting as if I'm supposed to know some big obvious fact that you're refusing to tell me. You really know how to get under my skin, do you know that? I get that you're still mad because I stole your husband, but that's no reason for you to still be so upset. I mean, just take it as proof that I'm the better sister between us and leave it at that. Just face it, I'm full of beauty and brains and everything you're not. You're certainly full of something, at least on that we can agree. What did you just say to me? Just what is that supposed to mean, huh? Why are you always such an awful jerk? I really don't have time nor the energy to get into this with you. But I've given you more than a fair warning. If you really don't know what's going on under your own roof, though, well, that's not my problem in the slightest. Yeah, I'm so scared of whatever fake story you've come up with to try and scare me, you liar. You really think that I'm going to listen to what some poor lonely old hag has to say to me? I bet you're just mad from living in your tiny little apartment squandering your lonely life away, and this was the only thing you could think of to relieve some stress. But I'm not going to fall for it. I'm better than you and above this petty nonsense. And by the way, John and I are about to leave for a trip overseas, so what do you think about that? We've been taking these trips every couple of months since him and I got married. This could have been your life if you were good enough to keep your man. In fact, this time, it's only been 1 month since our last big trip abroad, so you can go ahead and be jealous of us while we go do some globetrotting. Right, well, that sounds like none of my business, but I suppose I just hope that you can enjoy it while you can. That's what I thought, loser. I knew that you'd have nothing to say to that. Carmen, are you there? Do you have any idea about this? Just what is going on here? I know you know, so give me some answers now. Oh, Lisa, so lovely to hear from you. Did you and John make it back from your trip okay? I hope that you enjoyed your little vacation. Welcome home. What do you mean, welcome home? That's exactly what I'm messaging you about. There isn't any home for us to go back to. I'm sorry, Lisa, but I'm sure that I have no idea what you're talking about in the slightest. What do you mean there's no home? I mean that we got back from our trip and then we were going to go to John's parents' house where we've been living. But when we got there, there was a construction crew there and they were in the process of tearing the house down. Oh, that. Right. I had almost forgotten all about that, to be perfectly honest. You mean that you know about this? Is this what you mean in those messages you were sending me last month? Is this what you were trying to warn me about? No more games. I want answers right now. Well, if it's answers you want, I wouldn't waste your time talking to me. You should go and talk to John's parents instead. I'm sure they would love to fill you in. What is that supposed to mean? Do they know about this? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You mean you haven't even tried reaching out to them at all about this? You might have talked to some of your neighbors there about what's going on, but I'm sure they probably don't have too much more to say to you than they moved. But it's because they don't know what's really going on. Why don't you try calling your in-laws and asking them just where they're living now? I don't know what game you're trying to pull, but I just want you to know that the jig is up and you aren't going to scare me anymore. John called his dad and asked where he and his mom were right now. They told us that they had actually moved and that if we were going to see them, we would have to brace ourselves. But that can only mean one thing to me. It must mean that they moved to an even bigger and better house and they want to surprise us. I bet it's going to be huge, like 3 stories with a pool, maybe even a statue garden. Oh man, it's going to be like living in a palace, I bet. I can't wait to see their new place so I can rub it in your face. What the heck is going on here? Please tell me this is some kind of sick joke or something. Just what even is this place? Ugh, what is it? What do you want this time? Why can't you just experience something and keep your thoughts to yourself, huh? I mean, I don't understand. We went to the address that John's parents gave us, and it just took us to the crappy old apartment that you live in. This doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, is that where you're at right now? Well, I guess I should have guessed that that was what was going on. What are you talking about? You mean you knew this was going to happen? What else aren't you telling me? I have a right to know. I already told you I'm the wrong person to ask if you want answers. If you really want to know what's going on, you need to ask your in-laws. But why? Why can't you just tell me what's happening? Why are you trying to play these games with me? I just don't really see why I should have to explain anything to you at all after what you did to me. If you want answers, you're going to have to go out and find them yourself. I have got a really, really bad feeling about this. I know I'm not going to like whatever comes next. Oh wow, it's already morning. I had no idea that time was even passing. I was just spacing out for so long. After hearing about how John's father was kicked out of his position as CEO and John lost his role in upper management, I don't think I've moved a single inch since they've told me. So I take it that means you finally worked up the courage to ask your parents about what was going on? Did John and his father come clean to you about getting caught embezzling from the company? That's why the board of directors decided that the next CEO would have to be someone from outside the family. I know, they told me about all of that already. I was so shocked that I've been sitting in place for hours now. I only noticed it was morning because the sun began to shine in my eyes and it finally snapped me out of my trance. And when I came to, we were still in this tiny little apartment. Well, you better get used to it. That is going to be your life from now on. The two of them were sued by the company and made to return all the money that they had stolen. Then they were fired. So they really were fired then? It's not just a suspension or a demotion or something like that? That's right. In fact, I had a feeling that John was doing this even when we were married. It was actually one of the reasons I was so keen to leave him when I did. I know that he and his dad were lining their pockets with the company's money even if I didn't have any proof. I confronted John one day and he ended up spilling everything to me. But it wasn't long after that I found out you two were seeing each other. So I figured I would just rescue myself from the problem and walk away. You have got to be kidding me! How could you just let me walk straight into this situation? I didn't think that you'd be stupid enough not to realize what was happening. But you were, and you tried rubbing your marriage to him in my face. So then, that's why we were living in this tiny little apartment? Are you telling me that you're really paying more than $3,000 a month for this place? Sorry, but you seem to be mistaken again there, Lisa. What are you talking about? What more could you possibly have to tell me? I'm not sure just how much more of this I can take, Carmen. That apartment actually belongs to a friend of mine who helped me out after John and I got divorced. But that isn't the $300 apartment that I'm talking about. The place I live and pay rent for is in another town, if you must know. Wait, so then this isn't your address? But I thought that you were living in this apartment. I know that's what you thought, but you came up with that all on your own and never bothered to check with me if it was really true. But I thought that you were just a housewife. How can you afford that price for an even nice place, even though you weren't even working before? I was never ever a housewife, even when John and I were married, Lisa. What do you mean by that? What did you do then? I thought you just laze around the house and would clean from time to time or make John dinner. Well, you're wrong about that. I was working. It was just that I had a job that I could do from home. I was selling real estate from home and actually managed to make a pretty decent salary for myself. You're kidding me. I had no idea that that's what you were doing. Why didn't I know about that? But if I can be honest with you, I only pay a third of the rent for the place I'm at now. The rest of the money comes from Mom and Dad. But why would they be paying for your apartment? That doesn't make any sense. Well, that's because they're here living with me in this very apartment, of course. Wait, what? They're living with you in your apartment right now? You mean you really didn't know about this at all? Then again, Mom and Dad do always tell me how they do their best to avoid talking to you ever since you stole your own sister's husband from her. So I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't tell you about their move out to live with me. But Dad even talked to his company and asked for a transfer out here so that he and Mom could come and be with me. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I really had no idea that any of that had happened at all. You mean that Dad really never mentioned any of this to you at all? Well, he might have said one thing, but I didn't know that you were all going to live together in some really nice place. I thought that you had just convinced Mom and Dad to take your side and that you were going to live with them to mooch off of them. And have you heard it all from Dad since he talked about people moving? I haven't at all. That's probably because both Mom and Dad have blocked you on everything and never want to talk to you again. But I thought that they were just having money problems and couldn't afford to pay for their phones. I can't believe they would do that to me after already being so mean about my marriage. You mean your marriage to my ex-husband who you stole from me? Did you really think that Mom or Dad were ever going to go for that? I mean, you know how much Dad talks about the importance of making your own way through the world. He was so disappointed in you when he found out that you had just stolen my husband all because you heard he was rich. But now you and John's family can all work hard to afford that tiny little place together. Don't worry, the rent is quite cheap. It's 10 times less than what I'm paying. How did it all come to this? I just don't understand. This isn't fair. I ended up showing my parents the final conversation that I had with Lisa, and they just shook their heads. I feel like a part of them is holding out hope in their hearts that Lisa's going to have some sense knocked into her, but I just don't have time to hold out for that anymore. We all wonder about what went wrong with Lisa and how she ended up the way she did. My parents think that they might have spoiled her too much as the younger sister. She never worked a day in her life and could basically get anything she asked for. But now I guess she'll have to learn to take care of her own and others now that her and John's family will all be looking for work soon. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.